east, not a minute late. We innovate, got more drive than the interstate. Now let's debate, sit down and negotiate. Cocina, en la cocina, en la cocina, en la cocina.
Here we are again. It's Cocina Sunday. I'm your girl, daniree. Welcome to episode 10. This is See You Soon Sunday, and we're going to explain the title in a second. But first, we have special guest, social media influencer, mentor, singer, super talented. Welcome, Abbysoul. She's with us for Cocina Sunday.
I had to give her some claw drum roll, you know.
Yes.
Claw drum roll.
Absolutely. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and joining in on the live. We have Fallon, we have JC, we have Queso de Papas in the building.
Hey.
We have Audrey. Yes, he's at work, but he's tuning in. See, that's how you know the love is real. I appreciate you.
Yes. That's love,
I would appreciate you guys more if you share this video right now. As we are going live, we are going to get into it. The topics that we have for today. Paco, can we show them our new feature of having topics up?
So watch this, guys.
Yeah, so we have Justice for Nia that we have to discuss.
Of course.
We have R.Kelly and his 19-minute redemption song that clearly, we'll get into that. Hold on. And then we have Demi Lovato's Relapse, which you know is unfortunate, but we do want to discuss for all intents and purposes. And we also have our hometown hero, Officer Kyle Savoia. We want to honor later on in the show for his heroic act. So stay tuned. We got a lot of show going on. I'm super excited for the people that we have here today. And let's get right into it. So let's talk the first topic, Justice for Nia. So Nia Wilson and her sister Latifah were standing and waiting for a BART train, and they were stabbed by a white man named John Cowell. John Cowell is a 27-year-old paroled felon who has a lengthy history. However, it was just one of those turn of event moments where she and her sister were getting off the train, waiting to transfer to the next train, and was slashed and unfortunately murdered. However, meanwhile, while this was going on, KTVU, who is a media outlet over in San Francisco, covered the story, in which case they actually showed a picture of her with what believed to have been a gun. But it was actually her phone case. Did you see that it was a phone case?
Yeah, because they sell those phone cases where just the bottom of it is a grip.
Right.
Yeah, and it looks like one from like the bottom.
Exactly. But you know, it was just mind-boggling that of all of the pictures that you could have used for that was what you decided to use, you know, as means of showing this young lady and the loss of her life. So immediately Black Twitter and Twitter at large just went for John Cowell, and Anne Hathaway and other celebrities came out and made a statement. Anne Hathaway. Yeah, right?
Yes. Because she definitely put spotlight on a topic where a lot of, you know, white Americans think that their fear is going to be equivalent to a black person's fear when a cop is around. And for somebody that's white to say it and bring acknowledgement to it, you know, I was happy. I was like, finally, somebody said it, because you know, a lot of people like to use their little cards that they have in their pocket where they think that the things they say are appropriate, and it's not.
No,
you know,
and not in today's world. But you know what? Shout outs to Anne Hathaway, because for her to acknowledge, number one, the existence of white privilege as a white person, you know, that was impressive. Not only to just acknowledge it, but then to speak out on it. It took a lot of courage. And I think that, you know, she put herself at risk to make sure that the message got out there, and it did. And I commend her very much for that.
So now, on the opposed, let me ask you guys, in regards to them posting that picture, do you kind of feel it was almost on that borderline with that whole thing that happened with XXX, Tentacion, whatever, how they, you know, when he passed away, instead of just speaking in the things to remember him by, the first thing that came out of what was his name? Rosenberg from Hot 97's mouth on a different show was, even though he beat his ex-pregnant girlfriend, that allegedly the baby was, he died. You know what I mean? You don't say that and then go, oh, well, rest in peace. How are you going to, you know what I mean? Do you feel that, ladies, is kind of like the equivalence with how instead of them just announcing it about her life and celebrating her life, they had to throw that picture out there and kind of like shame her face first?
I do think that was an appropriate picture for them to use because it's like, why? Like out of all pictures, she's such a beautiful girl. She was 18 years old. Right. She didn't even get to finish her life. You know, and I feel like what people do in their private life with however they want to show, their own who they are as a person, whether that's having a case like that, or whether it's something I agree with or not. It's not fair that the first thing that's being acknowledged, instead of being unbiased, you can be, open about those two things, but she's an 18-year-old girl, and there's no way that someone's going to want to look at that as the biggest thing versus a white man killing her right off of getting a train. Right. I'm getting off of a train. Like, that's crazy.
Completely.
And I did take the liberty of putting a poll out there and asking you guys in the audience, and shout outs to La Cocina community.
Yes,
shout outs to all of you guys
community.
that have been tuning in and staying engaged and staying active. I appreciate you guys. And apparently 80% of you guys believe that this was in fact a hate crime and a racial crime. Yeah. And 20% of you believe that it wasn't. And I know that it's listen, and I may get criticized for even saying this. I understand that there is a lot of reason for something to be racially motivated in regards to this, but let's just keep in mind, and just to keep myself, in the clear, they have not established what exactly the motive is as of yet. Now, it's been, I believe, 3 or 4 days probably since this incident, probably more than that. I think it's about 6 now.
Yeah. Almost a week, I think now.
And for them to not have more of an idea of what they already know is a little unacceptable. I'm going to need y'all to, get to the bottom of this quickly.
Because
it is
no
an
way
issue.
that there's not at least one thing that's up in the air.
Can we show the picture of this young girl and how she looked and how beautiful she was?
She was so beautiful. Her face
so
was
gorgeous.
Beat too.
Oh my gosh, 18 years old, and it's a shame. My thoughts and my prayers go out to the Wilson family.
Definitely.
To all of those who have been affected by this loss. Can we run the video clip of her dad?
I don't know anything. All I know is my daughter called me crying hysterically. I couldn't understand what she was talking about. She told me to get here to MacArthur BART. I get here. I see all the police and ambulance, and I run up the platform, and I see my youngest daughter laying up under a tarp dead, I want justice for my daughter. I want justice for my daughter. Please help me get justice for my daughter. Man, I work at Highland Hospital. I see this every single day. I never imagined myself going through nothing like this. That's my baby girl laying up there. I want justice for my daughter.
What did the police tell you about a suspect? Did they tell you anything?
I haven't heard anything from anybody, except a few witnesses said it was some white guy in a red striped shirt who just stabbed my daughter randomly and ran off.
Man, I'm sorry to hear it. Sorry to hear that.
This is the parents' worst nightmare. I see this, I watch this on TV. I never imagined this.
All right, so that was her dad.
It's just like, you can't even fathom thinking, as a parent, putting, your child out into the world and, hoping and believing that, they're safe. And just something as simple as just standing there and then just somebody coming by and just, what I mean?
It was just senseless. It was heinous. It was horrible.
And just so you know, part of the reason why they still haven't established it as a hate crime is because this man not only does he have no links to any white supremacist groups, but he also has a history of suffering from bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. And so they're like, well, we have to make sure he's not insane. But her sister actually commented on that and said, if you were conscious enough to go home, wipe the knife, change your clothes, then how can you really say that there's insanity there?
Exactly.
Right. Listen, it's just horrible. Again, I just want to send my thoughts and my prayers out to this family. again, I'm urging for police to do their job and figure out, get to the bottom of this, please.
Because
and you know, shout out to Nick Slay, who was on the show. I think it was like back in episode 3, but he made a very valid point about, you know, there's stuff that goes on the streets to our civilians, and you know, there's a lot of people that are of the streets that are out there and that see a lot of what's going on, and we need to we need y'all to step it up too. You know, you have a responsibility to this neighborhood, and it's real easy for people to go out there and push their agenda. But you know what? It's time for us as a society as a whole to step up and say, nah, we're not having this happen to our girls.
Yes.
You know, it's already too much for that. So I want to move on from that topic. I do wish, you know, everybody in that situation the best. We're definitely going to keep our eyes out as this story continues to develop. But let's just talk about R. Kelly for 2.5. And I want to make this brief. I want to make this brief because number one, I didn't feel entirely comfortable talking about it to begin with, but the reason I decided to change my mind is because it's so industry heavy and it's so industry related, and it's such a topic that's just it just seems like it's always there and it's always lingering. So R. Kelly put out a 19-minute, what I'm assuming was supposed to be a redemption song of some sort, and it was called I Admit It. I polled a lot of you guys. Many of you guys were absolutely not interested in listening to the record. Don't worry. We all took the liberty of listening to the 19-minute track for you.
For the greater good.
Yes.
For the greater good of the Cocina community, we did this for you.
Yeah, so we're going to break down exactly what he admitted and what he didn't admit. So let's just say this. He admitted everything that we kind of already knew.
That's about it.
He can't read and he can't spell. Kind of figured that.
He's broke.
He's broke. We kind of figured that. He's a freak and he enjoys younger women and older women.
Duh.
We figured that.
that should be obvious.
He signed a really bad deal and has absolutely no rights to his own publishing.
Yep.
So you know,
he's going through it.
Oh yeah.
He is.
So that 19-minute song was sort of like a confession.
Yeah.
It was a pity party.
Well, that was the thing.
It
It wasn't a confession at all because never, not once did he formally really confess to these things. And honestly, it was barely an apology. Barely, you know. It was more so. Here's the reason why I did this. Here's the reason why I did that. You know what I'm saying?
The blame game.
The only discovery that we did make out of all 19 minutes of this was that he, in fact, was a victim himself of child molestation.
Yeah.
But that doesn't necessarily give an excuse
doesn't
either
justify
to you being the victim, and then now all of a sudden,
Right.
you're
Can
the
we pull up these
victimizer.
pictures of R. Kelly just in case the people forgot what he looked like? You know, I know it's been a while.
My mind's telling me no.
Yeah. But my body. No.
No,
It's always been
think
no.
about it. But think about it though. Now every R. Kelly song that you guys listen to,
It's going to be tainted.
it's gonna be tainted.
Yeah.
Because he openly, which we already knew, he liked little girls because of Leah, obviously.
Yes.
But that's disgusting to think. Now every sexual song that he has sung,
It might not
you
even
ha-
be about.
an adult. You
Yeah.
have to think about a child. And you're like, my mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yes. No, listen to your mind.
And
Don't be a pedophile. That's disgusting.
listen, man, it's crazy.
walk
But
away.
here's the thing, and I want to run this video real quick of Kev on stage. You remember Kev on stage?
Yeah.
We watch his videos.
That's what
sometimes.
I was just referencing.
Okay,
that.
so here's Kev on stage, and here's a portion of his 20-minute rant. Here's what he had to say.
Separate. He's saying this on the song. You got to separate the art from the artist, and I do not, and I will not. I am part. When I hand you, I ain't got no cash. When I hand you my credit card and you swipe it, I am saying I support you. When I stream your music, this is me. You define it yourself. I support you. Okay? I'm not separating the art from the artist. No.
Oh man. Oh man. But listen, I think he made a very valid point.
He did.
He absolutely did. Which was, R. Kelly is basically asking us to separate the art from the artist. So you
Right.
want us to separate who you are from what you've done. It's impossible.
It's your artistry. Your artistry is who you
it,
are.
You spoke it out into existence.
Right.
So
Yes.
now this is what you need to claim.
And your art is love music,
Yeah.
baby making music. How
With
many of us were
babies.
conceived to this stuff? You know what I'm saying? You can't.
I would.
But listen, I'm gonna give it up to you guys. You guys let me know that is watching on the live. Can you
Yes.
separate the art from the artist?
Artistry.
Comment below. Let me know. Let me know.
Yes, let us know if
Can you separate the art from the artist?
I don't think I can.
I don't think so either.
I think in certain artists, yes, it could happen, but in this certain situation, 19 minutes of all your
I mean,
quote unquote secrets
Yeah,
are now, yeah,
out
I'm
there
gonna
for
be
the
thinking about it.
yeah, I don't know. Listen, my whole thing is, R.Kelly, you've made a lot of bad decisions, conscious decisions. And you're at a point now where you're reaping the benefits of those decisions,
Right.
and it's just a consequence of your actions, my brother. And unfortunately, as hard of a reality as this may be for you, it's been a harsher reality on us that you've fallen from
Yes.
grace this way. You got what I'm saying,
Yeah,
right?
it hurts us because, like, not for nothing for me, Danny, I don't know about you guys, but to me, back in the day, R. Kelly, 90s R. Kelly was an R&B singer.
Yeah, and
he sang slow jams.
You had to at least categorize him as one of the top R&B
Yes.
influencers with how he made all the,
And you,
Everything.
baby making songs.
what's
and
crazy about all of this, and not even to cut you off, is that during the 19 minutes, you could tell, like, this man is a legend. He legit got me sitting here listening to all 19 minutes of this. I was upset at myself. But then I'm like, no, I'm researching. So that's my excuse.
Yes.
But,
Right.
he had me. He really had me captivated. And I really, listen, man, you're a talented brother. I have no doubt
Get
that
your life.
you will survive, but you need to get your life. And you need to stop making 19-minute tracks because ain't nobody got time to listen.
And stop touching babies.
And that's it. Done. Next.
Bye.
So, Demi Lovato.
Oh, my girl.
Good
My
vibes your
baby.
way.
Listen.
My baby.
Let me tell you, this hurt. This hurt.
It
It
did.
really hurt.
Especially after watching the documentary, man. I really, like,
I loved her
I
documentary.
gained a super
Right.
respect for her. Like, I watched,
It was so raw.
I watched 3 documentaries that day. You started me off. She started me with the one on Logic from Rapture,
Yeah.
which was awesome. Then I watched the 5'2" one with Lady Gaga.
Yes.
I was always interested in that because it was like, oh, she's showcasing about fibromyalgia. I have that cool, dope awareness. Not once
Yeah.
did fibromyalgia come out her mouth, but you seen her going through the pain, but you could not tell these people what it was.
But Demi,
Yeah.
though.
But Demi's, I respected hers because she laid it out there. It was real, and everybody,
Yes.
no matter color, creed, whatever,
Yes.
everybody has gone through some type of depression, some type of whatever.
Yeah.
Everybody has gone
And
through
then you
that.
hear people now comparing it to what happened with Lamar Odom, and it's like,
same.
oh,
Or Whitney
people
Houston.
are
Did you see
bashing. I feel like it's so terrible that people are now saying, and it's because he's black that they're saying that. Oh,
He's
well, you guys
Mexican.
called Lamar Odom a crackhead, but you're over here favoriting and making her look like an influence. It's like, it's not even about that.
No.
It's an actual disease. Being
Yeah.
addicted to heroin is an actual disease. Like, it's not something as easy as picking it up and saying no. For certain people, at a certain point, you let yourself go too far, and that's what happens, And it's sad that's every time something happens like that when an artist, whether or not.
Well, here's
And
the
she's so talented.
here's the thing. So the breakdown of it was that on Tuesday, July 24th, she was hospitalized for the apparent overdose. She had kind of been. I don't want to say they tried to intervene, but she had friends and her mom who were around and trying to help. But at that point, there's only but so much that you can really do for an addict, or
right.
there's only so much you could really
They need
say
professional help.
until you feel completely helpless over the situation.
Yeah.
And I feel bad. My heart goes out to Demi's mom and to her friends who tried to intervene, because you can't help but feel responsible when you see somebody you love fall
Yeah.
this way and feel like, what did I do? Could I have done anything? Is there anything I could have changed? So I feel really bad for what's happening with Demi. My thoughts and prayers go out with her. I really think that at this time, maybe a step back, You know,
Yeah.
what do you
Music,
think?
from
A
everything,
timeout.
like a personal listen. When you listen,
She's like, listen.
Girl.
when you have entered a world where now you don't pay attention to what you're doing with your life,
Yeah.
that's when you got to realize, all right, something I'm doing is not right. I either have to change what I'm doing or because she's amazingly talented.
Can we pull up that picture for
You
us so
know,
that they can
she's-
see
She's
how
amazing.
beautiful she's beautiful,
She is.
super talented. I took this personal more so than other artists for numerous reasons. Number one, I enjoy her from a vocal standpoint. I think she's extremely talented. Number two, I enjoy her from even a physique aspect. You know, we have somewhat of a similar body type, big arms, big legs, and, you know, she kind of helped me to embrace that aspect of myself, how I look as a person without any type of alterations. And that's not to shoot out or shout out anybody who's had that work done. That's on you. But,
Right.
you know, she was just one of those people for me that helped me to look at myself and embrace myself for who and what I am. And I'm super appreciative for that. So to hear that she felt this way, and it was a little too it was personal for some reason. Like I kind of
Yeah.
took it like, we rooted for you, we're here for you, like
Yes.
we've been down for the
Yeah.
cause, like. And you know, again, and there was something that I had posted up on Facebook. I'm not sure if I put it up there on the switcher for you, Pac, but I'm gonna try to pull it up here so I could just read it for y'all real quick in regards to my reaction, because there was a lot of different reactions on the
Oh
internet.
yeah,
They were
tons,
harsh.
tons.
Some of them were really harsh.
Some of them were way too. Some of them I read and I'm like, wow.
People forget
it
you're in the
was-
spotlight, but you still go through these emotions and
You're
through these
still
struggles and
human.
anything. Yeah,
Yeah,
It
just
was
because you're famous.
heartbreaking. And I'm just like, you know, I understand. I get that, you know, we can all be disappointed in I guess, her fall from sobriety, but
But she's human.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's human.
She's human.
And I think that, you know, we tend to forget these things. And
No amount of money is gonna hide you
Right.
from reality.
No.
No matter
Yeah.
what you try to do, you could drink it away, smoke it away, do whatever you have to do, but you can't hide from it. It's
Right.
always gonna be there. It's always gonna be lingering. You know.
And I just, you know, I'm still trying to pull this up. I'm sorry, but let's just keep talking as
You
I
know,
try to
2
pull
days-
this up.
2 days prior to that, she was on stage singing the song "Sober."
Yes.
Right,
That
and she
song.
forgot the lyrics.
The end of it.
No.
Remember when she gets to the end of the song and she's like, I promise I'll get help. And then there was 2 lines that go after that. And then that's when she's like, oh, I forgot the words.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were speculating that she didn't forget. It was just her denying,
Not wanting to say
that
it.
not wanting to be helped, or just denying
Yeah.
the whole issue altogether,
Yeah.
which happens. You know what I'm saying? But all right, so when everything went down, the status that I had put up was, I'm glad that she pulled through. I really hope that she gets the help that she needs. I know it's easy for all of us to weigh in, place blame, point fingers, but let's be reminded that we all have our own demons, burdens, and hardships to bear, both great and small. Whether or not addiction is a choice is irrelevant to me, which it still is, by the way.
Right.
The fact that this warrior of a woman pulled through in her darkest hours is all that matters. We didn't lose another light in the industry today, and for that, I'm grateful, period. And I think that's really,
That's real.
that's it.
Yeah.
It's real.
That's
Yeah,
all that
it's
we need
real.
to say at this point.
it.
And the only one who I found on the internet who could have said it better, Paco, if you could pull up this video, is of Josh Jacobs. Shout out to Josh Jacobs from
Yes.
Brooklyn.
Oh, that video.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
let's run this.
See, I don't know you, but I know your pain. Most of us do, and that's the truth. That's why we all relate. Not to the glitz and glam, but to addictions that we cannot withstand. To handle by ourselves without no help when it's in high demand. Depression is ugly, and loneliness just comes with it. The struggle to love yourself continues, and it's hard to get a grip on. When that happens, we resort back to those bad habits. That instant gratification, that fix we can't stand it. Feeling good for the moment, but what comes after is the breakdown. We're back to reality, but so much that we can take now. You gotta know you're worth more. You're beautiful inside and out, just how you are, whether you're on tour, in a room alone with yourself in silence and stillness. You're amazing, you're a diamond, you're a star, you gotta feel this. Or the money, or the accolades of fame and drugs won't change a thing. You gotta love yourself more than you fix, so you can spread your wings. I repeat, you gotta love yourself more than you fix, so you can spread your wings. I repeat, you gotta love yourself more than you fix, so you can spread your wings.
Wow. You gotta love yourself more than you're fixed, so you could spread your wings.
Yep.
That's wild.
That's
And
it's true
true.
though.
It's so
It is true.
it is.
It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's drugs or self-mutilation or,
Yeah.
just like, not
And
having self-confidence, all of that. It's anything.
And shout outs to Josh Jacobs. Like I mentioned, he is a hip hop artist from Brooklyn. I appreciate you for putting this message out there. I think it's so needed. I think that perhaps some of us have lost touch of our sense of humanity, and we forget. We're all the same.
human.
You know what I'm saying?
We're all going through something.
That's it.
This world is so desensitized, especially like, when the thing that happened with Justice for Junior and stuff like that happened, we were talking about it and discussing it. And we were talking about the fact that you can see and watch somebody get murdered on your phone.
Yeah.
Everybody can see that. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like it desensitizes everybody to seeing these such sensitive things when in reality we need to be more in tune with our emotions, get more connected with each other, and just, hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, you look beautiful today. You know what I mean? Just
Those small
kind
things make a
act.
difference, man. They really do. But listen,
Yeah.
Substance abuse helpline. I really want you guys to jot this one down. Unfortunately, I didn't pull it up on the lower thirds, but I will put it up for the YouTube video, and that's 1-800-662-HELP. Again, substance abuse helpline. If you or anybody that you know is struggling, 1-800-662-HELP. And again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Demi Lovato, her family, and we wish her the best. And we can't wait to see her again, healthy, well,
Stronger.
Yes.
strong.
Singing, making more music.
That's
Killing
right.
it.
If, she needs to take her time though. If she feels like she's not ready.
That's right. And it's
You
no
know?
rush. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
we're
I'd
good.
rather have her in a couple of years than not have her at all. Because at least
Yeah.
in a couple of years, we'll see her newer, better, brighter, different kind of music,
perspective.
different perspective. Everything is going to be fresh and fun. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the negative or, the opposition as
Right.
if she wouldn't have been here.
And
Right.
hopefully giving an example of how, it does take time, but hitting rock bottom is not the end.
No.
No.
it's
Yeah.
not.
Um,
Absolutely.
so that concludes our trending
Trending
topics.
topics.
We're going to take a break because we do have one last story that we want to squeeze in. But I do want to shed a little light on my girl that's in the building, Miss Abby Soul. We sound all in sync.
That was so good. That was good.
All right, so Abby Soul, my love, talk to me about what's going on in your world. What is happening? Because you did the women's
I'm doing
impact.
a lot of creating.
I know.
That's all I do. I'm posting myself in the studio. Like the other day, I was in the studio for 12 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
Not even realizing that I was there for 12 hours because
There you go.
I find myself getting lost and
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, it's 1 o'clock in the morning? Like I don't notice.
So what are
it,
we
you
what are we
know?
doing in the studio? Are you looking to put together
I
an
am
EP, an
finally-
album? What's up?
I'm finally listening to everybody who's been, kind of like, you need to sing for all these years, and I am creating and making my own EP.
That's
awesome.
Yay!
Thank you. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of
I believe it.
a lot of new things that I even found out about myself. Like I could make beats.
Yeah, I
Like,
seen that.
I was like, ooh.
excuse me.
I was like, oh, okay.
Swiss soul over there.
You saw it, right?
Yes.
I have a couple clips where I'm like, ooh, like I go from the piano, switch to the guitar, do something else.
Well, put up
And
on
I have
social media
friends- I have
posts
some
so that they can
great-
go follow her.
I have some great friends.
Yep.
Because I swear, I think like at least a couple of the friends that I'm always with, they're creatives as well.
Yes.
My best friend who's an engineer. Shout out to one of my friends, Moon, who makes music as well, and he's another influence. And then I have like my other projects with like my website and collabing with an event that I'm gonna be doing soon with one of my friends, and we're gonna do an outdoor woman brunch.
Oh, that's sweet.
So we're just figuring out the dates, going with the flow,
Getting things together.
trying to have my website up and running because a lot of people, I know Dan, you guys both know I do the Wisdom Wednesday.
Yes.
And I took a break from that because I figured, I want to take my time to work on my website. And a lot of people I didn't realize were listening
To the
to
Wisdom
this
Wednesday.
every Wednesday. That a lot of people were like, oh, you don't post anymore on Wednesday. I'm like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I wanted to have all my content up on my website now,
Right.
so that, my website is going to be poetry, music, knowledge and wisdom to spread from my mind to people to help them get through. And,
That's awesome.
it's a lot.
So when did you start this? Like
with the website?
with the website, with Wisdom Wednesday, like
With
where did the idea come to you to start doing this?
Well, Wisdom Wednesday definitely started even before my Women Speak Up event, which you both, have went to.
All three of us
all-
attended.
Of course.
All three girls.
Sorry.
I keep forgetting
I
about
keep
me.
forgetting. So before that, I was just, there's a lot of girls my age, even older, that I think we forget that when we have resources to help other women,
Yeah.
we don't put it into play.
And that's the reason why you're here, is because of that
Yes.
video. You went in on
I
Instagram.
that day, I was a little bit annoyed.
Yeah.
Because I've seen something that happened in the flesh that didn't really sit well with me.
Right.
I see a lot of girls doing their thing. Shout out to the girls that are creating their brand, whether it's through makeup, music, art, whatever.
Right.
It's amazing. But it doesn't impress me. What impresses me is that you can do all those things and help the next woman that's just like you.
Yeah.
And you want to help her benefit herself to, one day multiply what you're doing or help her multiply what she's
Right.
doing.
Yes.
And it's like, it gets me mad because so many beautiful women with a lack of, humility and compassion towards other girls.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they don't think about anybody but themselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like I needed to flat out, say that. I went on Instagram. It's like, there's girls growing up thinking that they can't do certain things without another girl that's popular or, has more social status than her, that she's like, oh, well, she has more viewers than me. I mean, I don't know if that's going to work. Or, she gets all these, and I don't like paying attention to social media with how many likes you get.
Yeah.
Who shares this? Who
Yeah.
shares that?
Yeah,
That doesn't, that doesn't impress me. We're now in a society where, I have to be brutally honest and say this. Men make it hard for women to do a lot of things sometimes. Sometimes because women allow it. Sometimes because, they get caught up with the wrong type of people.
Right.
We already have to work twice as hard to show the world that women are capable of doing all these things.
Yes.
That having negative energy with other women, it's not good. It's like we have to rise above at one point, like really rise above and realize that we can do so many things together versus apart.
Now, why do you,
You know?
not to cut you off, but why do you think that this is? Because I think it's, I'm
think
not that
it's
much
a-
older than you are, and I feel like it's almost a beginning of time thing for me,
Right.
where women constantly put themselves in a position of, in a mindset of competitiveness, or in a mindset of, I have to be on top, or I have to, and I'm not going to share my information with them. I'm not going to help anybody else.
Right.
Where do you think that this mindset came from? Do you think it's a cultural thing? Do you think it's
I
a
think-
biological thing? Like,
I think it all has to do with self-appearance.
yeah.
You really got to dig deep inside yourself if it bothers you that much that somebody else is looking at you as someone that they could learn from, and you're looking at them like, oh, you're just probably trying to steal my stuff.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know? And
It's insecurity.
it's insecurity. It's not being able to look at yourself like you are worthy enough
Right.
to get on that girl's level, or to be able to share, when I had my Women Speak Up event,
Yes.
I let everybody be themselves. When everybody was like, oh, is there something that I should be doing your way? No, don't do it my way.
Right.
My way is not the way that works for you.
Yeah.
If you want to get up there and start dancing, go ahead, girl, do your thing, do it, and I think that that's what made my event so special in my eyes. And once all the time has passed where I could really reflect on how the day went,
Yeah.
I was glad that every girl there said, thank you for letting me be me, or thank you for letting me show what I can do.
Yeah.
Because that's all that, when we come in a room together, we could do a lot of things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's just sad. I feel like, God forbid, I have a daughter one day. I want her to love herself enormously,
Yeah.
a lot of girls my age can't say that they love themselves. You know, I'm not that old either. You know,
Right.
You know,
No.
so, you know, I'm gonna be 24. I don't think that, you know, there's parts of me I'm like, wow, I feel like how was I so blessed with being able to look at life like this? Because there's a lot of girls that don't look at life like that or don't look at things.
But you actually
Like
had
that.
you had an experience with, you know, with your health that also gave
That
you
too.
a different perspective on
You
life.
know,
You know, talk to us a little bit about that.
It showed me a lot of how people are really cruel.
Yeah.
Because when I was going through what I was going through with cancer a couple years ago, there was times where I didn't want to explain myself to people. Nobody understood why. Knowing what it's like to look at somebody having cancer versus living it are two different things.
Right.
You can, you know, empathize and look at it as something that is, you know, hard to go through, but physically it changes who you are. It changes the way that you have to prioritize, changes the way you got to eat, changes the way you got to get up in the morning and, you know, go about your normal routine. You switch up everything. And I didn't feel like explaining myself how painful it was to other people. And other people looked at it like, you know, I've had some experiences. And, you know, I said this to a couple of my friends, and I just recently came out about it in a poem that I posted the day that I made my 3-year anniversary, July 20th, which is my father's birthday.
Congratulations again, yes.
Thank
Happy
you.
birthday to him.
Which is my father's birthday. You know, I came out and I had to write a piece about how raw it was because nobody really knew. Like, I went through it. I didn't show social media. I didn't want to sit and, you know, pillow talk about it. It wasn't something I could sit and have tea with my friends. You know, it was a part of my life where I wanted to get through it and get on with it.
Yeah.
And then when I realized, you know, that there was a point that I wanted to share that with other people, they're like, wow, I had no idea. And I'm like,
and
you
we
know?
didn't. When we attended, you know, the women's conference that you had put together and you were talking about that, we were blown away, you know.
Yeah.
And we were like, wow, like, look at this young girl who's already walked through so much already. And it was astounding from our standpoint because it's like, we really ain't got that much going on. We're good. We're good. You know, like you kind of put us in check. And that was why, you know, when you did the Instagram video of calling other females out,
Yeah.
I kind of, not that I felt personally responsible, because I'm like, nah, you know, I had my females in my corner, so I know
Right.
that I'm contributing, but I do understand what you're saying,
Yeah.
because as that personality, there have been people who I've gone to woman and asked for help, or there have been people who, and it's not easy for me to ask for help.
Oh,
that's
me
number
either.
one.
And
You know what I'm saying?
Seriously.
Even
That's
me
the
doing
truth.
business with people, like,
Yeah.
I've had people shut me down, and I
Yeah.
would, like, you know, get rejected, and I'm like, oh, so that's how we're gonna be. Okay,
Yeah.
I won't ask you again. That's
Right.
it. You know, I don't look at it like a loss. I look at it as a loss for you.
Yes.
You know, because if you don't want to get together and open up your mind a little bit, then you
that's
know,
on you.
and you know, I definitely did learn a lot.
I feel like people don't realize that they're cutting themselves off. You know?
Yeah.
You're cutting off a line of communication that could literally bridge you to your next opportunity or your next
Right.
step or your next
Absolutely.
experience. And it's all
'Cause-
simply because of what? Intimidation,
Burning
feelings of
bridges.
inferiority. What is it?
Yeah.
We have no answer for that. So it's like,
Yeah.
cut it out. You know what I'm saying? Come
Yeah.
through the La Cocina podcast. Sit down with
Let's
your girl,
come with
Danny
us.
Ray. Talk.
Let-
Let
let
it
it
all
all
out.
out.
Let's sip some tea in confianza and let's talk about it. Let's get to
talk
the
about
real
it. But
nitty gritty.
I really did feel personally obligated and responsible after that video. I said, you know what? Let me reach out to her, and I did.
Oh,
within
but you-
48 hours, I was like, yo.
Danny Ray, you're a great person though.
Thank
I
you.
see how you are with everyone, you know. So it doesn't, you know, I don't even think it affects my friends either. I always peep everything.
Yeah, I feel you.
I pay attention to a lot of the things that people do and say, and sometimes it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yes, that's
You
true
know,
too.
but you know, it's definitely a learning process. You know, definitely a lot of people feeling some type of way when I open my mouth sometimes that I never really paid attention to until I started, you know, hearing my friend, like, one of my friends came up to me and she's like, you know, I showed you to someone one day, and she's like, oh, I don't know, she talks a lot. And I'm like, do you know her? No, I don't know her. And it's like, oh, but you know what I'm saying? Like, we're so quick to, and I'm going to say we, because I've done it before.
Yeah.
You know, me being aware as a girl, there's things that I don't give props to another girl, and I realized, wow, like, let me go reach out and say, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes a lot for you to sometimes see that it's not someone else that's the problem, it's you. You know?
Like,
and
instead of being able to see, you know, look directly in what's in front of you and, oh, it's negative, it's, oh, she talks a lot, or, oh, she's loud, or, oh, she's this. Why don't you dig a little deeper, guys?
That's right.
Look a little deeper into it and look to see, so pull something positive out of there.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying?
get to the root of it, because
and there's so much root, let me tell you.
It's so much root,
because
honey.
everybody's walking around with something different and something that's deeply invested into them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things where it's like, if I didn't take the time to stop and speak to people like Katana or speak to people like Adriana, I wouldn't have them here. You know what I'm saying? And then I'd be sitting in this room talking to myself, and that's no fun. You know?
No, it's not. I mean, I talk to myself sometimes.
Yeah, it's when you start talking back that there's the problem.
Oh.
yeah,
Then there's a problem.
that's a little concerning.
But, you know, but I really do appreciate your words and the way that you shake things up. I like people who shake things up. I like people that are rule breakers and that aren't afraid to speak their mind, because you know what? That keeps the universe and that keeps everybody in check.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Keeps that balance.
Sometimes we need somebody to say, hey, by the way, you could be doing more, but you're not. So get to it.
Yeah.
Take a step.
Absolutely. So I feel what you're saying. But now let's talk about what else you have going on, because now you mentioned, you know, social media influencing, and I see that with your Wisdom Wednesdays but then you mentioned that you're doing mentoring now as well. So talk about that. Working with the kids.
I've always mentored. At least for the past 2 years, that's what I've been doing. Reaching out to girls that have had abusive, you know, trauma in their past life. Younger girls, 15, 16, who don't have the guidance to, you know, figure out what they want to do next.
Right.
And I feel like you know, even though in age and maybe not that far apart, you know, I still feel like, because of, you know, things I've witnessed growing up and things that I've had to overcome, I feel like I can give an insight to other people. So, you know, I feel like, you know, my website is really what I can't wait for, because I'm even trying to have a tab where people can reach out to me to talk to me personally, because, you know, like I said, I never realized how much people do listen to me until I realized I wasn't talking anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
it's
how
deep.
It is sometimes.
It's deep sometimes, you know, because a lot of people don't have anything to you know, help them navigate through life, especially younger girls and boys who don't have role models, you know. I didn't really have all the role models growing up.
No.
You know, I didn't have that many. I had got up for school, do what I had to do, get over what you know, I would see that most children don't see their age, you know.
Right.
But you know, it's definitely something I'm always going to do. I feel like mentoring. I feel like even it's second nature. If I feel like I'm outside in the street and I see someone with a problem, sometimes my friends are like, you can't just go help people. Like, you can't just go talk to
Why not?
strangers.
Yeah, why not?
They're going to look at you like you're being nosy. And I'm just like,
Wonder Woman.
help. And, you know, I just, even with my own friends, you know, I have had to tell people in my life, like, listen, what you're doing right now, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not working. You
How do
know?
you, like, all right, so
Mainly with relationships. I'm always giving
what
relationships.
happens when the advice isn't well received? Then what? What do you usually do? Do you withdraw?
I withdraw
let them-
because you got to know when your limit is to
Yeah.
help people who don't want to be helped. You know, you can do so much to lend a hand out. They could either take the hand, take your whole arm, you know. Either way, it might not be the whole gist of hearing what I'm trying to say, but then there's times where people just don't want any help.
Right.
You know, and they think that you're just criticizing them because, you know, what you're saying might not be something that they want to hear in that moment. So they're kind of like, oh, don't tell me what to do in my life. You don't know what I'm going through. Da 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 da. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I've had
I
all
was just
kinds
trying
of
to help.
Yeah, I've had all kinds of personalities, but at the end of the day,
Yeah.
they all come back and say thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's what I was just gonna say.
at some point, they realize I'm not tripping.
That self-reflection.
Yeah.
It's you gotta either take the good with the bad,
That's how it is.
or grow up and realize that everything that happens to you, there's always a solution. You can't look at everything like, it's to attack Katana or to attack, Danny Ray and Adriana. Like, it's not, like, you gotta, like you said before, dig deep
Right.
or go home.
So, your music, do you have any dates yet?
No. I'm
Okay.
trying to learn this thing where I'm a big person with dates.
Yeah.
That I forget that sometimes I just gotta like let myself go. So that's what I've been doing this summer with being in the studio. That's all I've been focused on. That
Right.
and my website. But I took off from I haven't been working. And this is the first summer I really haven't been working. Like, I always am working, doing something, working full time in a job, like helping other people. Like, I wanted to take some selfish days because
Right.
I'm trying to be versatile on my EP. I'm trying to sing, and have some different type of vibes. I definitely want to do R&B vibe.
Yeah.
But I'm excited because I'm dropping a single soon before the end of the summer.
Oh. Can we get the name of this thing? Come on, man. This is Cocina podcast.
It's called Ain't No Pretending.
Ain't no pretending.
Is it a
Okay.
ballad?
No, it's kind
It's
of
upbeat?
It's kind of like for women. It's kind of gonna be like, because I have to, first song I throw out there got to be for my girls.
course.
You know what I'm
Pretending
saying?
no more, boo boo.
No,
Ain't no pretending.
So I mean, I can't wait. I get
excited.
happy. I get happy
wait
when I
either.
talk about it. Like, you
Listen,
see it
we're
on my
excited
face,
for
like I get
you.
happy.
Yes.
It's been long
genuine.
overdue, especially with, I don't think you guys know either, I play the piano.
No, I saw.
Oh, you-
I saw.
Okay,
Listen,
okay.
I be knowing.
I be watching.
So, it just feels good. It's so refreshing. So I just can't wait. I can't wait to show everybody what I've been hiding and what I've been
Yes.
cocooning for.
That's
So that everybody's going to be like, whoa. Because that's all I just need someone to react in a way that's like all natural.
Well,
Give me
listen,
your opinions.
we're taking a break for a month, the month of August. But when we come back in September, we gotta have you back to talk about this.
And I'm going to play that song. I might even
Yes.
sing it. So.
Yes, we can do that.
Oh,
too.
yes.
So-
We got to get some singing.
Absolutely, but I love you. I thank you so much for coming.
Oh, love
I
you
think
too.
that you're awesome. I want you to continue
Thank
to
you for
flourish,
having
and
me.
I can't see what else you're bringing to the table at the ends of the summer. Everybody, stay tuned. Paco, can you please put up this young lady's Instagram so we can have everybody follow her, and be on the lookout. Name of the song one more time, Mama.
Ain't no pretending.
Ain't no pretending.
Ain't no pretending.
So this has been Abby Soul. Keep it locked for her. We have 10 minutes left, and the reason why I cut down to the 10 minutes is because we have some announcements to make. So I hope y'all didn't go anywhere. Invite your friends back into the
Come back,
chat. because
share,
we
like,
need to,
comment.
Please, we need some views up in
Vibe
here
out
because
for 10 more minutes.
this is gonna 10 more minutes. Y'all can do
At
it.
least y'all can do it. Come on.
So I do want to announce a few things. Should we do the last story first or make the announcements first? What do y'all want? I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Do the last story, the very last story on the trending topics.
Yeah.
Let's do that first. Okay.
Get it over with.
All right. No, just get it over with.
Get it over with. We got things to tell the
so
people.
the very last story on our trending topics, and I did want to give a big shout out and an honorable mention to Officer Kyle Savoia of the Perth Amboy Police Department, who saved a man from an oncoming train. It was just amazing. Can we pull up that video?
Yeah, because that video
was crazy.
It was
right?
close.
Yeah.
It was a close.
A heart-stopping moment, thankfully, with a happy ending.
Are you okay?
Where you come from? Thank you.
Police officer Kyle Savoia was jogging over to the homeless man after he was dispatched to check on him along the tracks. When all of a sudden, a train approaches. The cop sprints to save him.
Hey, Black, move! Stop the train! Stop the train! For a split second, I decided to start running. So in that situation, your training takes over.
After a trip to the hospital, the unidentified man paid a visit to the New Jersey police station to thank the officer who saved his life.
He said I'm a true hero to him. He had a 2-year-old. He had a family to go home.
Officer Savoia's mom was beaming with pride for her son, only on the job 7 months.
And I started crying. I was like, I cannot believe that was my son doing that.
Steaming ahead into his career, starting off with this brave rescue.
Move! Move! Move!
We appreciate your save. It was an act of bravery and
Yes.
just quick thinking. And he's a third generation police officer. His father was he was on the force. His grandfather
must be
was
so
on the
proud.
force. So
Yeah,
and
I know
Only
the video,
7 months.
7 months into
the
his
video,
career.
his mother was so happy. Like, oh my God, that was my son.
She was saying she was crying.
Shout out to Donna
That's
Savoia. She must
such
be a proud mom.
warm feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, thank you to the hometown hero, Kyle, for that amazing save. One time.
Yes.
Clap it up, clap it up. Yes.
For PAPD.
So then, we have other announcements to make.
Yes.
7:53.
Okay. Those are claws.
Here goes the claws. So, as you guys know, Katana went out to Georgia, to the ATL, and she was doing her Cocina coasting, and now she's let us know that this is going to be her permanent move and her permanent home over in Atlanta.
Guys, I am going to be a dirty Jersey peach, honey. I can't wait. Dirty peaches.
I'm done. But yes, so Katana will be heading out to Georgia.
Yes.
We wish her the best of luck here at La Cocina Podcast.
Oh, I know
I'm not
you're gonna miss her.
Oh my God.
Bad.
I don't want to talk about it. We're not
going to do that. We're not going to do that.
We're not crying because there's no Q-tips here for me to do my Wendy and just But, I do want to give a huge shout out to my homegirl because I came to her with this idea a few months ago and I said, I really want to do this. I really want to do. She's like, oh, let's go. I got you. Let's go. Let's do it. And I'm just like, I don't know how we're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're going to do it. Okay.
Gonna do it.
And, if really not for Katana J and her pushing and her nagging and her, come on, let's go. I don't think La Cocina Podcast would have
That's
made
teamwork.
it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Teamwork
So,
makes a dream work.
I am super appreciative to you and the work that you've done with us. I thank you so much for taking on this journey with me as your friends and just in business and in life. And I wish you nothing but the best while you go over there. I'm not going to cry. Shut up.
We're not going to do this because you know what? This isn't the last time that you guys see of me. Trust
absolutely
me.
not. And technology has made it possible so that we can continue to link with Katana while
when
she
are you
is
leaving?
The first, guys, in the morning, I'm going to pick up my dog Zena, my bully pit Zena, and we're going to take the trip to the airport, and we're going to fly back to Georgia. My baby. Aww. Yeah. You know what, guys, to be honest with you, this wasn't something that was actually it sounds like it was a last minute thing. Like, oh my gosh, she was just out there. Now she's staying there. This is something that's been in the work for years. Like when we were talking about putting things into the universe and putting these energies out there. For years, my friend Trisha and I always talked about going to Georgia, going to Atlanta, going there, doing our thing. Because she's also a media personality as well. And she does a lot of different things in the business world. So naturally, a place like that that's in the come up is a place for us to go. It works. So it's just something that 4 years, and it's crazy because when you believe in your manifest, it will happen fast. She's already been out there for 2 years.
Oh my God.
She's been out there for 2 years, so and now I'm coming. So her manifestation happened so fast, literally because she said it and believed it, guys. And that's all you have to do.
And because Blue Moon retrograde is clearly treating you right.
Blue Moon,
perfect timing, huh?
But let me tell you something, girl. I don't know about this retrograde because me and retrogrades, I love full moons, but me and retrogrades, I don't know. Because I'm a Pisces. They shake up my emotions, honey. But long story short, you know what I mean? So if you guys have a dream like La Cocina Podcast, like Abbysoul, like anything that you want to do, Adriana, if you guys have a dream out there, put it into existence and say it with all your might like you believe it and it's already there. Because guess what? That's when it's going to happen. Jim Carrey put an empty check for $1 million in his pocket and said, I'm going to make $1 million. And guess what? He made $1 million.
Done.
My best friend Trisha put an empty check in her pocket. A couple months later, $4,000 came out of nowhere. I'm telling you, if you say it and you believe it, it will happen, guys. Yeah. Believe me, this is something scary for me. It's been long overdue, especially because, like I had said earlier about the fibromyalgia. Yes, I do have a couple of autoimmune diseases. I actually have a collective of 5. So this is the first time I'm leaving New Jersey, being away from my family.
Bless you, girl.
Thank you. Not being anywhere where I don't even have my medical team out there. My medical team of specialists, pain management, everything like that, all my surgeons are out here in Jersey. So I'm literally going out there and saying, you know what? My illnesses are not going to do this to me. My family is not going to do this to me. Strangers are not going to do this to me. Right. I'm not going to do this to me. Because even I got scared. Once the reality was coming for me to actually go to Georgia, I was starting to doubt myself. But then I was like, you know what? No. Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. You got to get those negative thoughts out of your head and just go.
Yeah. Jada Pinkett Smith said it, and you know I love watching her Red Table Talk. That was the best thing she did. Cause I love it. It's so raw, like everybody who comes on there. So like she said, speak it out into existence. It will come right back to you 10 times more than you spoke it out.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
You know? Amen to that.
So we wish you the best of luck again. I love you. Thank you, girl, for helping. Thank you for coming through.
Of course, not the last of me.
Guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in on the live, for being such an amazing audience.
Yes, the community.
The shout outs to Adriana Rivera, who's going to be helping out and stepping in for Katana. Shout outs to an Angel Manuel Ortiz, who will be joining us next week.
My cousin.
As a special co-host.
Wait.
So, yeah.
I feel some type of way.
Why?
How my cousin gonna be a co-host and I ain't gonna be here?
Well, listen, girl, ain't nobody told you to go to Atlanta.
You know what? Angel, we should have booked you earlier. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But listen, so here's what we're gonna be doing. And I want you guys to please check us out on YouTube, La Cocina Podcast. Check us out on Instagram, La Cocina Podcast. If Paco would pull up these lower thirds,
those thirds.
You know what I'm saying? Press the button. So then you can come in, tune in, check us out. Yes. You have an opportunity. We're going to be starting, in your honor, we're going to be starting a competition to see who can be the special guest co-host. So we're going to be doing that.
Can I judge too?
Me? Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
I said me.
But you guys can check out all of the information about our contest and how you can be a special guest host on La Cocina Podcast on lacocinapodcast.com. We'll have all of the details for that contest. I think I took off the... There you go. That's perfect. Just La Cocina Podcast across the boards. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Come and check us out. We're still maybe about 50 subscribers away from our goal of 100. So I'm going to need y'all to help us out.
Let's go, guys.
Definitely tune in. And I thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Abbysoul for coming.
Thank you for letting me
Thank you for Adriana. I'm done. I'm just quitting today. Adriana Rivera for coming out here. And from my bestie, I wish you the best. I love you so much.
It's daniree, Katana J, now on delay. 7 o'clock Eastern, not a minute late. We innovate, got more drive than the interstate. Now let's debate.